Welcome to the Great American Collectible Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappola, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
Hello, everyone.
18, baby. 18.
Yeah, the Celtic. See, he's a fan now. But
What do you mean
No,
now?
you haven't.
Whoa.
No, but it was great. I mean, they just blew them out. But it's a funny thing. You know what you're hearing now on next year already?
Well, you know what
The
it is.
press, you know what I mean? The
Yeah, but
media.
they have their first 7 coming back.
Still.
No, I agree.
They just won
I know.
a
I
championship.
agree.
And talk about the players. And then the other thing is on the major networks, talking about Kyrie. He was nowhere to be found. Who cares?
Exactly.
The Celtics won. The team
I
won.
totally
There's
agree.
so much to cover.
1 million people they're expecting on
Yeah,
Friday for
I
the
believe
parade.
it,
1
yeah.
million people. But you know
It
something?
was great. It was
Banner
they're very
18,
talented.
it was just great to see. And I don't know if you saw the quote from Bob Cousy after their loss. And he was very poignant. Basically, he said, look, I'm on the 19th hole, not the 18th, the 19th. He said, and I can leave this world. That's what he said. I can leave this world with banner number 18. You know,
It's not bad, yeah.
No, I mean, it was just great. So anyways, congratulations to the Celts. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics fans.
Yeah.
Another championship in the greatest sports city in the country.
Arguably?
Name me a better one. Name me a better one.
I don't know.
Right now.
What
Not
do
in
I
this
know?
century. All right, welcome to the Great American Collectible Show. Tom Zappola, my good friend and partner, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. We have a very, very good show today. I'm honored that this gentleman is
You know,
joining
when you
us.
say that, guys, can I say one thing? We got a good show today. So what? The other shows were bad?
Yeah, they were okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
right.
now I know.
All right, let's bring them in. We have 3 guests, and again, they're on for the whole hour. We've got our good friend and the executive producer of this documentary we're going to talk to you about, Tom Ruggie from Destiny Family Practice, a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker with quite a resume, Rico. Better than yours.
Oh,
Better than yours.
I know it.
Marq, no, really. Marq Evans, welcome. And I guess that we call him the guest of honor. He's been referred to as the baseball's Picasso, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sports artist in the country, and just a legend. I'm going to read a little synopsis of what Dick Perez is all about and what the documentary is all about. The Diamond King is a featured-length documentary about the history of baseball as told through the life and works of baseball's Picasso, Dick Perez. Mr. Perez was the official artist of the Baseball Hall of Fame for over 20 years and has painted the entire history of the game, from the Knickerbocker era until now. He has painted every Baseball Hall of Famer, a project he continues to this day at the age of 83, a young 83. Mm-hmm. Through Mr. Perez's work, you're going to see how the game has changed from the ballparks to the uniforms, the crowds, the signage, and, of course, the diversity of its players. For a certain set of card collectors, he may be most well known by painting the Donruss Diamond King cards between 1982 and 1986, an absolutely beautiful, beautiful collection.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat with the 3 of them. Welcome, all of you, gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you for
having us.
Hello.
Dick, we're going to start right out of the gate. You emigrated from Puerto Rico in 1947. Can you give us a little of the backstory there, coming to the United States?
Sure. My father had been killed in a truck accident. He was a peon in Puerto Rico, and so my mother and my sister and I were left And we're talking about a single mother in Puerto Rico, and she decided that because my father had always envisioned himself coming to the U.S. to the mainland, and she decided to make use of some of the family that we had in the Bronx, and sent me by myself on a plane, 6 years old, and said, "These people are going to like you. They're going to know your name. They're going to hug and kiss you, and you go with them." And that's what I did, and thus started my American experience. And one of the early things that I remember about my early American experience was the game of baseball. I was raised in Harlem, and all we did was play baseball: stickball, softball, punch ball, half ball, baseball. And I aspired to be a baseball player. That's what I wanted to be. I just needed to wait some time and get better. And then I looked at my lifetime batting average, because we did play a little bit of organized ball, and it was 188. And I figured, like, this is not going to do it. I was hoping to take Mickey Mantle's place, but I'm not going to be able to do that.
Whoa.
So anyway, I was trying to find out what else can I do in life. And one of the other things that I did was draw as a child a lot. And I used to draw I didn't draw baseball, but I drew a lot of classmates in cartoon form. And I always had an interest in it. And eventually, when it came time to make the decision of what am I going to do with my life, I decided to do it in the arts, but not painting or not illustration, but graphic design, because I knew then that I could get a job that way.
Sure.
And that's when I started as a graphic designer, and it just evolved that I started doing my own illustrations whenever I designed a publication for the Philadelphia Eagles or the Philadelphia Phillies, and I just got good at it.
Good at
Well,
it.
how'd you start with Don Russ, right?
Yeah.
And who else? With Frank Steele, and later Topps. When did that happen?
Yeah, Don Russ got a contract. I think it was Topps is always being challenged about being the only baseball card company, and nobody else can do that. So the courts ruled in the favor of other gum manufacturers that they could do baseball cards too. So Don Russ pitched in and decided that they were going to do baseball too, but they didn't know anything about baseball. They were a foreign company. The owners who bought Don Russ. Don Russ was the local company, but they had purchased it. Yeah, and so they were told they should contact my partner Frank Steele and me, who at that time I was the official artist of the Baseball Hall of Fame and did a lot of baseball work. And Frank was a big fan with a lot of knowledge, and they thought that we might be able to guide them in some way or help them get into the baseball card business. So when they came to us, they came up from Memphis, and I had the idea that the last time I saw any art in baseball was like in 1952 or 3. Topps did their last art, and the rest was photographic. And I said, I don't know why you don't do art in baseball. I mean, that was the way it was started. When before photography, the baseball players were being drawn and painted. So we decided that Don Russ decided that okay, whatever you say, and we did that. We started the Diamond Kings, which was a subset that featured a member of every team in baseball, like who had a good previous year or who was a superstar or whatever. And there were some repeats, but basically we had some new people all the time. And I did that for 15 years and never heard any feedback on it. Don Russ didn't care what I did. I started experimenting in doing illustrations that are not common, and they didn't say anything, so I kept on doing it. And then it ended in 15 years later. And lo and behold, the kids that were collecting the cards that I was doing grew up. Email was in their lives, and I started getting letters and emails and all that about the work. And one of them was Marq Evans, the producer and director of this film. And he looked me up. He wanted to know what Rico had just asked me. Well, how did you get into this? And proposed doing a film. And I said, of course.
Now, Tom, how did you tie into all of this?
Candidly, Tom, I don't remember. There was a reach out. I believe Marq got my name somehow and reached out, and there were some opportunities to get involved. And those opportunities came from making a small donation all the way up to being the an executive producer of the film. And as you know from being on the show previously, I've got a fairly large collection of Dick Perez art. In fact, I just purchased 2 more in the past couple of months, which puts me at 39 pieces. And by the way, Dick, I've also gotten privy to see at least the initial draft of the movie, and there's a part in there that they discuss Dick's worst painting, and it's a 1975 collage of the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'm going to try to talk Dick into selling me his worst painting because ironically, when I talk about my story and how I got into this, it was in 1975 going to a Philly spring training baseball game playing the Red Sox, and that was my actual start to what has become a lifelong passion of mine. So anyways, when the opportunity came up to be an executive producer for somebody whose work I know, love, and respect so much, it was a no-brainer for me to get involved, and very happy I've done so.
Yeah.
All right, so Marq, so you were a collector, and you stumbled upon the diamond collection, and you reached out to Dick. Since that time, though, I mean, not since that time, but your whole career, I mean, you have a pretty good resume. Can you tell us about some of the work that you've done regarding whether they be documentaries, movies, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of similarities between this film and kind of what I've been interested in the past of exploring the stories that maybe had been a little bit restricted to like a certain industry. So in Dick's case being baseball art, baseball cards. I did a film called Clay Dream about Will Vinton, who's the father of claymation. He created like the California Raisins and other clay characters and popularized that art form. Or The Glamour and the Squalor, which it was a film about a radio DJ that really broke and presented the grunge music to the world, bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam. And so these were kind of the through line there is that these are people that were very instrumental and important to me kind of growing up, or whether I knew it or not, because I knew the music that inspired me when I was young. And so I found this story about the DJ that kind of pressed play on it. I knew those characters that Will Vinton created, but I didn't know anything about Will Vinton. And I knew the Diamond Kings. But as a kid, I didn't necessarily think like, what's the story of the artist that created these?
Right.
Just, I love those cards. And so I guess it was about 2 years ago, actually almost exactly 2 years ago, that I was looking at some of my old cards with my son, and there were the Diamond Kings, and I was looking at my favorite Ken Griffey Jr. cards, and so then I thought, what is the story of this artist? What's Dick Perez's story? And he's got an amazing website. That was the first thing I stumbled upon, and reading about Dick's story, and I realized, wow, there could be something here. And this might be a lot of fun. And, I get excited about something, and then I'll just kind of immediately make the reach out. I probably emailed him that day, and he got back within a couple of days, and we had an initial phone call and hit it off. And it was just all very, I remember, Dick, it was like, hey, I'm going to be in New York already. I was actually going to New York for the theatrical release of my previous film. And I was like, why don't I stay a couple extra days and we'll shoot a few interviews and just see how it goes. Like, that's kind of how it started. and we really hit it off. Cool. And it's been about 2 years, and it's been a ton of fun.
You mentioned about taking pictures. When I played, most of my career, the photographer was in New York. So, he'd take the American League, then go over to the Mets and take the National League. And this guy, you goosed him. He would jump 5 feet off the ground, and
all the players used to do that.
Yeah, we used to And Goose, well, he used to go like this, and we'd laugh. Well, he got back at us because he took the worst picture.
I saw one.
Remember that
yes.
one? I tell you, it's a haunted house. It was so bad. I said, you can't take this. You can't let kids see this picture of me.
I remember that. What year was that?
76.
Yeah, I remember that picture.
Jiminy crickets. I mean, this guy had warts and all kinds of stuff he put on. So, it wasn't, he had to be careful. He was the only photographer. And, that would take the pictures.
We are chatting with Marq Evans, Dick Perez, and Tom Ruggie. Dick, so, your artwork has told stories about baseball legends in the sport's most iconic moments. Why baseball? Why did you dedicate your career to baseball? Because I know you've done work also, you said, for the Eagles, correct?
Yep.
But, you just love baseball.
Well, that and baseball is the most collectible sport there is. It's the oldest sport, and there's some great stuff from the 19th century images.
Yep.
And it's just the most popular sport, and with fans all over the place.
Have you done much with pre-war artwork? T206s, T205s. Turn of the century guys like Cobb or Lajoie or Walter Johnson, any of those guys?
Have I what now?
Have you done artwork of those a lot of artwork of those pre-war players?
Well, yeah, I think I don't know who the Allen and Ginner artist, I forget his name.
Good
but
stuff.
It was that style and that technique that I proposed to do the Hall of Fame, to print every Hall of Famer and create the Hall of Fame art postcard. And it was that Allen and Ginner series of paintings of cards that I mimicked. And then there were the Turkey Reds.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff.
Which was one of my favorite set of all because of the narrative that they have.
Those are pieces of art. Yeah, and those things are pieces of artwork pretty much in themselves. They're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Do you have go ahead.
Topps does a wonderful job of recognizing cards of the past, and they did a set of Turkey Reds, and they had me do I think 51 cards, 51 paintings, where I did a current player, and the background was, if he was a Boston player, would have been the old park they played in, or what have you. And that was quite a fun project.
Nice.
It's influenced.
To make another comment about that. So when you get the opportunity to see the film, it really is looking at the history of baseball from day one through Dick's paintings all the way to the current. He documented the entire history of baseball via his paintings.
Very cool.
Do you have a special one, Dick, that you especially like that you've done?
Well, I have one behind me. It's a Roberto Clemente painting.
Oh, great!
It's hanging behind me. It's a print. It's not the painting. The painting is in the hands of it was. She's passed away, but his wife. There was a little story there, if I may. There was one season where his two sons were up at the Hall of Fame weekend, and they noticed that Roberto Clemente's name was not properly placed on his plaque, because in Spanish, your mother's maiden name is the last name you have.
Right.
So they didn't have that. And one of the sons went to the president, and he didn't complain. He just was, it's funny, but in Puerto Rico we do this, but you did that. Well, he decided that he wanted to fix that. And they made a new plaque, and then we went to Puerto Rico. I was part of that troupe. And I did some paintings for them, and they had the plaque, and they presented the new plaque, and that's what's hanging in the. It's a little different looking than the other ones, but it's the correct name.
Yeah.
Hey, before we take a break, Dick, I'd be remiss in not mentioning a very dear friend of the show. I think Tom knows him, James Fiorentino.
Oh, yeah.
Is a fabulous artist, but I told him that you were going to be on the show. I can't tell
Since
you the
1996,
accolades that
Brian
came
Drent
from
and the
him.
staff at Denver's Mile High Card
So
Company.
anyway, just phenomenal. James absolutely thinks the world and asked me to pass that on to you of your work. He says, doesn't get any better than him. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, we are.
When we come back, we're going to come back with a Gax blast from the past. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and we are chatting with Marq, Dick, and Tom.
Great guys.
We're going to get back to them in a second. But first, it's time for a Gax Blast from the Past, brought to you by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. This week, it's kind of a little different. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you watched the Tom Brady Hall of Fame induction.
No.
It was phenomenal. 67,000 people showed up at Gillette for his induction. And they did a magnificent job. Over 130 players that he played with were there.
Oh, that's great.
It was just spectacular. And it was 3 hours long, and it was it was just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. There was one moment, though, that I kind of think really stood out. Because what they were doing is they were bringing in little groups of players at a time on stage to talk to it was a living room kind of a setup.
Yeah.
And just chatting with Brady.
Nice.
And they brought in probably the 4 best receivers that he ever played with on the Pats. Julian Edelman, Gronk, Randy Moss, and what's his name? Wes Welker. Yeah. But Randy Moss was special because Randy Moss played with the Pats the year they went undefeated, except for the loss to the Giants. And the people really appreciated him. But he never got his just due because at the end he left, blah, 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 blah. This is a Gax blast from the past. Randy Moss on stage.
Well, I think that a lot of fans here were just wondering, and I think football fans were just wondering what they were going to get.
They all stood up, Rico. 67,000 people.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Josh McDaniel. And then he starts crying.
Yeah. Sure.
Y'all know it's always good to feel this. I thank y'all.
Just a nice poignant moment, you know, because he was such a great receiver.
Oh, great player. A little controversial, but
Yeah,
still.
I mean, just he had such
it
talent.
was great.
Such talent.
No, they had great teams, but and Brady was great. There's no doubt. But he had some great receivers.
Oh,
and,
that year.
Well, throughout most of his career.
Yeah, he did. I mean, from Deion Branch.
I'm not taking anything.
I'm
not taking anything away from him because he
absolutely.
He was amazing.
All right, let's get back to our 3 guests.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys who your favorite teams are. Not painting or cards, but who do you root for
Let's
now?
start with Mark.
Well, let's do Mark. Go ahead.
The only team that's never been to the World Series, the Seattle Mariners.
Ooh, that's right.
Wow.
This could be our year, though. The pitching is phenomenal. Once we get into the playoffs, you know, the pitching wins, so we'll see. This could be good.
All right, that's good. Dick?
Long way.
Well, New York Yankees. I grew up with them. And then when I moved to Pennsylvania and started working for the Phillies became, but the Yankees were always in the back of my.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Yankees, who the Red Sox beat 2 out of 3, and the Phillies, by the way, who the Red Sox beat 2 out of 3.
Well,
I know, and you know that combination, that rivalry is wonderful.
It's unbelievable.
And as years it's been gone, now the Red Sox are I don't know what the contention is this year, but it's still a magical.
It is.
Yeah, when they play
It
each
is.
other.
I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, the Yankees do have a juggernaut. They have a phenomenal team. But I think the Red Sox have a very young team that's going to continue to improve.
Oh, I hope so.
Right?
I hope so.
Tom, how about your favorite team? And please don't say the Florida Marlins.
Well, no. So you know, so it's all based on, you know, what was your influence as a kid. So.
Right.
So I actually started off a Phillies fan because I'm from Clearwater, Florida, and my first game was the Phillies against the Red Sox spring training game in 1975. And so I followed the Phillies, but then ironically, I moved down to Fort Lauderdale at a young age, and my best friend was from New York, huge Yankees fan, and his dad was a photographer for the Yankees for spring training. Wow. And this was 1977, so they were also very good.
Yeah.
So I basically have always followed both the Phillies and the Yankees, somewhat similar to Dick.
Well, you got something in common there, Tom.
Yeah.
Rico, how about you? Who's your favorite team?
Let's see. The old St. Louis Browns. They were great. Great.
Now,
I'll tell you. Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Right,
and
you were a Dodger fan.
Youngest of 70. I loved the Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers. And I had to like the Yankees because my 4 brothers, if I didn't, I'd be whacked give me a shot.
Well, one of
over
your
the
brothers
head.
wound up working for them, didn't he?
No, he was the stadium. The specials.
Where in Brooklyn?
I was born in near Coney Island. I don't know what the section is there.
Okay,
West
I'm
First
in
Street.
Brooklyn now.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 2 blocks from Everett Field.
Oh, yeah. When it was, that was
the big building. They have their own zip code in that building.
No kidding. That was 3 teams in New York. There was nothing like it. Willie Mays,
I know, it was
Mickey,
wonderful.
and Duke Snyder. They made the song about them. And
I have a baseball signed by the 3 of them.
Do you really?
Oh, seriously.
That's a great ball.
I've had it for years. The 3 of them signed it. They're the only 3 signatures on the ball.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know what the hell I got it, but it's authenticated.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I want to talk about the documentary. Now,
Of course.
the launch for the documentary, I believe, is at the National, correct?
Yeah, that's we're doing a series of shows that we're calling sneak peeks. So
Okay.
they're kind of even before what will end up being the official launch, and the first one is at the National. So that'll be the first time that audiences get to see it. And it's a small room. It's 250 people in the room. We did a pre-register, and that essentially sold out within minutes.
Yeah.
So it should be a great crowd that are people that are just dying to see the film, that are fans of Dick and can't wait to see the movie. So I can't really think of a better place to show this film.
And when is it airing? What time is it on Friday of the National?
Yeah, that's Friday, July 26th. And it's first come, first serve, but the people that are pre-registered, will probably be the people that get to.
We were invited. They were nice enough to invite us, except when we're broadcasting from the Berkeley stage from 1 to 3, and then Rico is going to be leaving us to make more money. To do a signing for 2 hours after that.
He thinks I
That's
take
right.
it.
I saw you on that list.
No, but I'm the only guy that's not getting paid.
Yeah, okay.
Just doing it for
and then we have dinner reservations that I made that I'm going to pick up the tab for at Delmonico's with Mr. Orlando and Jackie Curio and the 4 of us. So.
Oh, wow.
So we thank you for the invite.
Shocked.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to attend.
Well, we'll see it when it comes.
That'll make 2 people on the wait list very happy.
Yes, right.
I wanted to ask Marq, did you how do you get into becoming a documentary filmmaker? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, I didn't get into it right away. I wasn't somebody that grew up wanting to be a filmmaker. Like Dick, I grew up wanting to be a baseball player, and I played through high school, had some college opportunities, but kind of gave it up then. And went to college, went into a totally different career. And for 5, 6, 7 years, I was just really unsatisfied. I wanted to be doing something more creative. My older stepbrother did grow up wanting to be a filmmaker. And so he kind of paved the way and did a couple of films. And in 2010, we started doing a project together, a documentary based in the country of Haiti. And ironically, 14 years later, we're still making that film.
Really?
But it kind of became like my film school. That's where I learned how to shoot and edit and produce and everything that goes into it. And I just fell in love with it. And so that's where it all started for me.
Now, you're an independent, obviously. So typically, I've always wondered, documentary filmmakers, we've seen some great documentary films. I've seen them on Netflix. I've seen them on PBS. Do you have to get that funded? Or, how does that typically work? Because, you don't have a big network backing you typically, correct?
Yeah, funding is always the hardest part, whether it's for me or for Ken Burns or Michael Moore.
Exactly.
Everybody will always talk about funding, and there's a lot of different ways to go about it. One of the major things that is available to any filmmakers is crowdfunding via a platform like Kickstarter, and that's actually something we raised a decent amount through that. And what's great about that too is you find your audience, you find people that fund the film that are excited about it. So that's one of but it doesn't fund the entire production.
Sure.
A percentage of it. And then there's investors. You can go straight to buyers, which I did not do. With this, we're going to try to put it out and then market it to the Netflixes or Disney Plus.
Right. And which, by the way, I would think that's getting it's getting easier because Netflix, they have a whole section on documentaries now, and they're all quite good. I mean, we've seen quite a few of them.
Yeah,
One
but
of them
there's
is
also
that,
so
this
many
golden
films being
auction.
made. There's so many films being made, and I don't know. The industry is in an interesting place right now. I mean, it probably always is, but so there's just all kinds of different ways to do it, and sometimes, like I said, you can get the financing through the distributor, through the actual platform. Sometimes they'll come in early, but there's a lot of reasons to kind of wait on that. So we're making it independently, and then we'll be probably putting it out. We're doing the sneak peeks here this summer.
Yeah.
It'll probably do some film festivals in the fall and winter, and then so either in the winter or next spring is when it'll have like its actual release where the masses will be able to see it.
Have you ever been involved in a documentary regarding the Red Sox where they, sat down with you? You have.
Yeah, they did. Yaz, Ted Williams, you bring you in and sit you down wherever they're at, and ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, the Tony C one never materialized.
No,
right?
no.
There was one that we were. This is going back about 4 or 5 years ago.
More.
We went to a Kickstart fundraiser at Fenway Park, not at Fenway, across the street from Fenway, because a filmmaker, I think what happened was he got sick though. A filmmaker wanted to do a documentary on Tony Conigliaro. Tony C, and I don't know if you know all about Tony C, but he was an icon here in Boston and got hit with the pitch, and he was never the same and died at the young age of 45 or 46.
Yeah.
But it never, it never materialized, right?
No, it's not like you said. It's not easy. You know what I mean? And to do a good job of it. But yeah, I've been in a number of one for different players. Ask questions, and some of the other players do. Did one on the one on Yaz was easy. Of course. Yeah. Teammate my whole career, so he was great.
We're chatting with Marq Evans, Tom Ruggie, and Dick Perez. Go.
I wanted to ask Rouge that you said you had about 30 paintings?
I have 39, actually.
39 can you mention some of the
Yeah,
players?
what are your favorites that you have that Dick painted?
But some of those that you have.
So I've got a number of favorites, but I have an Albert Pujols that's kind of an Allen Genter type subject. So it's Albert Pujols dressed in late 1800s baseball uniform.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. I have an absolutely gorgeous Mike Schmidt painting. In fact, in a conversation I had with Dick, apparently at some point Mike Schmidt reached out to Dick inquiring about that painting of himself. I mean, it's just that good of a painting.
Well,
and then I've got the largest Dick Perez painting I have is a huge painting of basically a facial shot of Mickey Mantle, and just an absolutely gorgeous painting. So those are the three that come to mind. I do. There was a set of 4 that came out at one point, and all 4 were available at auction, and I couldn't afford all of them. So I ended up buying the Walter Johnson one, and I've since added another one of the 4 that came up at auction. So I'm ultimately going to try to get all 4 hopefully someday.
Nice, yeah.
It's funny, Tom. I went on YouTube to I always kind of check out our guest, and there was a nice piece, except the audio was horrible, of you at your home talking about the Dick's paintings, and they were behind you. The audio just didn't cut it with us, so we were gonna bring it on, but it didn't work. But I was very impressed with the collection. It's just the way you have them mounted on that wall is just absolutely
Dick,
fabulous.
Did you do any All-Star games, guys that were All-Star games, or just it didn't matter? World Series, again, the players that were actually in them. I don't know how you differentiate them from, say, another one that you've done. But have you done those?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of the Diamond Kings were all-stars at one point. Many of them were.
Yeah.
So they were. A lot of the World Series work I did I was with connected with the Phillies. There was a lot of painting there going on, but it's just I don't know. I'm talking about thousands of paintings.
And
Isn't there a what was the year Reggie Jackson with the A's hit? Didn't he hit 2 home runs in an All-Star game? Like in
Well, in Detroit, he hit one over the wall.
I
have a painting. I did a painting of that. Yes,
that was amazing.
He knows more about it than I need to see the film.
That painting's in the movie. Yeah, from the 1971 All-Star game.
That's right.
In '69, I was in the All-Star team, and they gave us a painting. Stinking! I wanted a ring or something. Made a painting of me. I look like.
Who was the artist? You don't even know.
I don't know. We don't. That's what I say.
It wasn't you, Dick, right?
I wasn't him because
it
didn't even look like me. It didn't look like me. It was like Bigfoot.
That was interesting when you talk about the All-Star teams. Rico told me a story once on the air that I was totally unaware of. That when he played, you could be chosen to be on the All-Star team, and your manager and the owner of the team would decide whether or not you would go. And so you were a 2-time All-Star. How many times were you chosen?
5
times.
The next 3 years, but
they wouldn't let him go.
Yeah, because we were. Well, they suggested
that you don't go.
Yeah,
right.
Because. We were in the race, so they wanted us to get that rest.
Really?
And I wish now, not just the Red Sox, other teams did that.
I agree. Dick,
I got chosen a couple times too, and they didn't let me go either.
Dick, are you? Obviously, you've put on canvas the history of the game. Are you happy with the way the game has evolved over the years? Are you happy with it, or are there things that you see that you have mixed feelings about?
The other night, my wife and I watch the Yankees every night. Every night that we can. And this is like, and I had stopped watching. I was just not anymore involved in sitting 2 or 3 hours, watching a game. So we started watching again. And it was an extra inning game, and there's a guy on second.
Yeah,
I'm saying, wait a minute, I didn't see that guy hit a double.
Yeah,
where did that come from? And that plus all these rules that are, I like the speeding up of the game run. That's not noticeable, and meaning that you don't notice that it's a change, but it is effective. But some of the other things, it's changed quite a bit. However, the nice thing about it is that you still see the spectacular catches, the home run hit. There's still that part of it, that essence of baseball, fortunately, is still there.
And I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. And you know something? That extra inning rule is the rule that really bothers me too.
Bothers you.
Everybody.
All of us.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We have one more segment. We are chatting with Marq, Dick, and Tom. Hang in there. We'll be right back. And by the way, we have an On Deck with Rico coming.
We do?
We do. On Deck with Rico.
That's right.
Hold on. We'll be right back.
I'm enjoying this so much.
It's a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport. Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yeah, go to petrosellimarketing.com. You check out his website, and they got a lot of great stuff there. Hey, the show's coming up. I like to see some of the guys buy some pens, and there's a lot of giveaways.
We got some cool giveaways that we bought.
Cougars?
Cool giveaways.
Cool giveaways. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. What is it?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
They'll have to see it when we're at the National on stage.
Oh, all right. Yeah. That's. I started the business. The son took over. I gave him. Said he better take
Rico's
it.
the only guy that starts a business, gives it to his son, shows up one day a week to pick up a check.
I do not.
That's what you do.
That's baloney.
All right.
I get free hats.
It's time for our segment, On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
Your favorite Red Sox is mine. I'm Dick Perez.
Okay.
Is that really a grown-up?
No. This week's question was submitted by Bob O'Keefe.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
Two-part question. And I can't believe I've never asked you this. Did you ever get thrown out of a game as a player or as a manager?
As a player, I never got thrown out.
I think you're lying.
I'm not lying. The reason is this. I could say something to the umpire looking straight ahead. That was not a strike. It was a ball. I know the strike zone. I'll tell you. So anyway, I didn't. Reason I'm out of the game. It can't help the team. That's how I thought.
Okay.
Okay. As a manager, it was a lot different. I think I got thrown out in Pawtucket about 8 times.
Did you really?
Yeah, because you had to protect your players. We had an umpire that was baiting the players. Well, they didn't agree with the call, looked at the umpire, then he would come back, and all of a sudden, so I ran out there. I says, hey, you're baiting him, blah, 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 blah. You're out of here. I said, yeah, you're out of here, too. So anyway, as a manager, yes.
As a player, no.
Player, no.
Okay, second part.
Second?
As a player, who was your favorite ump?
Well, that goes way back. People that probably don't know.
Nestor Shilak?
Yeah, Nestor Shilak he was great. I mean, there were other good ones too.
How about the guy that used to shoot him? Do you remember, Dick? You and I go back, and Rico. Remember the guy that when he was upping, when he was at first base, he would shoot them out as they were called out. What was his name?
Yeah, I forget.
Do you remember his name?
Yeah.
Every time they were out, he boom, 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 boom.
Somebody knows it. I know it. I can't remember his name. It's an Italian name.
Yeah, And, Ron Luciano.
That's right.
Oof. Do you remember him, Dick?
Luciano.
Ron Luciano? We can't.
Well, no, he was an excellent umpire.
Yeah.
Ron Luciano, I remember that.
Yeah. So
I got to say, Dick has even painted the Hall of Fame umpires like Nestor
Shilak.
He's got a painting of him.
Nice, yeah.
Hey, Dick, has a player ever commissioned you to paint him?
No.
No.
No. Let me see. Hang on. No, only if we were involved in a project where there are prints made and he signs them, and in that sense, yes, but not for personal. Oh, they bought paintings from my website or wherever, but I was never commissioned. I'm not too fond of doing commissions. I mean, I think it's people tell you what they want. I like to just create my own thing.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
So are people, fans, collectors able to buy some of the stuff that you
directly from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some work still available, and I occasionally auction a number of pieces off at a. I used to get a lot of emails and things saying I would love to own some of your art, but I can't afford it. So what I do is I put a number of pieces on auction at REA, which I saw a little ad there before, at a modest price, and they get. I don't know. I think that's one way of.
That's a good idea, and Brian does a great job. I mean, Brian Dwyer is fabulous. Does a great job. Tom, what do you expect people to get out of this documentary?
Well, again, I think it's really just tracing the entire history. So it's not quite like the Ken Burns documentary, but to some extent it kind of has that same feel in a shorter period of time because Dick has covered everything from 1880s to Christy Mathewson to Babe Ruth to Mickey Mantle to my last purchase was Jose Altuve. So he covers the entire spectrum.
Nice.
Huh? He's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I think that this is going to cement Dick's rightful place as one of, and in my opinion, probably the finest artist in the history of doing art for the sport of baseball. And I think it's going to do a great job showcasing that.
Dick, I'm really looking forward to sitting on my couch with my wife and a big bowl of popcorn and watching that documentary on Netflix at some point in time.
Me too.
Rick, why don't you tell our friends about Joe Drellick and the gang at the CSA show.
Yeah, yes, I will. CSA Show is proud to present the Chantilly Show being held on June 21st through the 23rd. It's going to be held
It's right before your birthday.
Yeah. Hey. Held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport, celebrating 28 years at the same location. Wow. There will be over 450 plus dealer tables exhibiting on over 125,000 square feet of space. With both vintage sports cards and memorabilia as well as modern-day sports treasures, you won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of your favorite superstars will be on hand, including Trevor Lawrence, woohoo, Jacksonville. Jamar Chase will be there, Emmitt Smith, Joe Green, Mean Joe Green, Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, and many more. Over 30 guests in total. For more information, go to that...
So I always do that. CSAshow.com. I don't know why it doesn't print.
Hey, he's the worst speller, and
CSAshow.com.
Go to CSA.com.
What do you want from me?
That's the Chantilly Show, where you can find all of your sports collectible treasures.
All right.
Holy
hey, Mark, future projects? I know you've been working on this one for 2 years. Anything in the pipeline after this?
Yeah, I've got Rico even alluded to it when he mentioned Bigfoot. I've got a Bigfoot project coming up that's going to be a lot of fun that I've been working on for a little bit too. It'll still be a while before that one's ready, and I can't say too much about it. It's kind of a secret until it's out. But
want me to come on it?
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I need you to come stand in for the Bigfoot.
And Tom, let's talk about. We have a few minutes left. Your collection. Have you added to that unbelievable collection of yours?
I have. I've added a couple things. I've added, as I mentioned, a couple more of Dick's paintings. But on my prize 52 set, a signed Roy Campanella came up, and it was the first one ever. It's the only one known to be graded or registered on the PSA registry. So I was able to pick that up. And for actually what I felt was a very fair price, but that puts me 7 cards away from having that set complete now.
Wow, that is
including picking up 3 in the past year, which I went for 2 years without picking up a single one.
Now, do you think you'll find one of those 7 at the National? Is there a shot?
I don't think so. I think when those 7 come up, they pretty much go to auction because they're all there either is none on the PSA registry or there's one, or of course. I still need Jackie Robinson, so there's multiple Jackie Robinsons, but of course that goes to auction as well. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
man.
wow.
Well, listen,
that's
we look
exciting.
forward to seeing you guys. Dick, Rico, and I look forward to meeting you and Mark at the National. We're going to be there, as I said. We're going to be broadcasting on Friday from 1 to 3, and hopefully we'll bump into you guys. Tom, I believe you're going to be joining us for a few minutes on the stage. That'll be in. You're on the.
I'm on with Joe and Brian.
Yeah, that's a good group. We have.
We did the same group last year.
Yeah, we have the Silly Boys in the first hour.
Oh, that's good. That's
Thomas
fun.
Sulo, Derek, and a few others.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
guys, I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah,
very nice
fabulous.
interview with you guys, and good luck with the documentary, Dick. What do we say about your artwork?
Should be in the Hall of Fame. They should have a. He should
have a plaque in the Hall of Fame.
Really
You're right.
should.
With that being said, Mark, thank you so much. Dick, thank you so much. Tom, and
Thank you for having us.
Right, and we'll see you guys at the National.
All right.
Mr. P.
Yes.
Have a great week.
Oh, you too.
Good seeing you again.
Good to see you guys.
And to our viewers and listeners, again, thank you so much for the support. I don't know why, but the numbers have been kind of staggering. So whatever we're doing something right.
You drinking martinis? That's
maybe that's what it is. With that being said, happy collecting.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.